they fucking said, Marvel said that the most ambitious the most ambitious crossover event of all time was Avengers Endgame, and that's bullshit because you're now joining us for Draped in Beans and Dripped in Cells. How the fuck? Like, we've got the homeboys with us. Obviously, as usual, it's me and Shosh. We've got the homeboys here with us, Michael from over at fucking like Barbaric Brutality, and we've got Seven, who's the main man with Snuffed on site. How the fuck are you boys doing?
Dude, I'm chilling the most, man. I'm loving life. How you doing, Seven? Where you at over there? I can't see you.
Oh, you know me. I'm just kicking it.
There you go.
Absolutely. This is the first time that I've ever done anything transatlantic. This is some big Bean Bois shit for me. I feel like I've just leveled up some. So yeah, I'm fucking psyched to talk about some death metal.
Both, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The big Bean Boy shit, dude. I like that.
Dude, everything on this fucking show is all about beans. Like, I mean, you've seen the state of our Instagram bio, right?
Just, oh god.
Yeah, being British, man, like beans are the only thing we give a shit about.
Yeah, no, it is unfortunately like
beans with breakfast is common, right?
Beans on toast, that shit is real. Like that is some like broke boy shit right there. Like if you've got no money, you can't be fucking bothered to cook. Beans on toast is elite tier shit. Like I will not be told otherwise.
Yeah, we just put beans on everything.
What's that classic? Is it like a full English where you get like the
half
a tomato? Yeah, okay, that shit's
fine.
Yeah, you get
just you
tomato,
mentioning that, you've just like awoken my greasy
the sausages,
fat
the bacon. Yeah.
It's a thing of beauty, man. The full English set breakfast. So you'll go in, you'll get like your beans, like fried eggs, like some bacon, some fucking scrambled or fried, but you'd like fried mushrooms, black pudding. It's just fucking cholesterol. It's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, I've had a couple for sure, man. We got like, just where I live, we have like a couple like English style pubs that do like really good breakfast, like traditional English breakfast. Like, dude, I'll tear one of those full Englishes up real quick.
They are a thing of fucking beauty. But yeah, enough talk about like heart destroying food. We want to get to some soul destroying music because that's what we're here to fucking talk about, right? So like you guys talk about some like death metal news, and I'm super intrigued to hear what's on the radar this week, if anything.
Yeah, man. I kind of wrote down. I got some notes here. Check the peep game, dude. The boys got the whiteboard with the
be professional here.
Oh yeah. So yeah, man. I just wrote down like a handful of like some really cool shit, man. Actually, matter of fact, I think it was when was it? Like 2 days ago. It's a band called Body Box. We shared them on our Instagram story. I think Seven, you did quite a few times. You shared a few clips too.
That band's way too hard. That shit came out of nowhere.
It is wild. It is like kind of like that nails that kind of like ignorant, degenerate, like slamming death shit, kind of like Snuffed, you know? So like
yeah, I heard it when you posted it on your story, man. It was like fucking I haven't checked out that full out or whatever it is, probably EP, right? I haven't checked that shit out yet because I saw it and I was like, I need to check that, but haven't had time just yet because there's shit going on. But otherwise, I definitely need to check it out. It sounded cool.
The moment you say ignorant slamming shit, come on now.
Yeah.
I haven't heard it yet.
It's intriguing.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Definitely, I have to get on this shit. What kind of bands would you compare it to?
Shit. Honestly, I would say like maybe. Have you guys listened to Corpse Pile at all? Kind of a new act that came out last year. Yeah. They're like real raw slam too, kind of.
All right, now
they got like
Corpse Pile once again. I found it for you guys.
Okay, yeah, dude. Corpse Pile's like so. It's almost like this like new. I don't want to say like a resurgence of old style slam, but it's not super cleaned up. It's kind of like raw production, you know, almost like pingier snares, like real. Kind of brutal guttural vocals, like along the lines of like probably maybe close to like Seven, a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, wouldn't you agree, Seven?
I mean, yeah, but my shit was just they did it on purpose. Like my shit is just the best I could do.
Man, the best you can do is a fucking high bar. So
It's pretty fucking good, yeah.
Absolutely.
At least production wise.
Yeah,
I didn't. They made their demo sound like shit on purpose, and it's amazing.
Sometimes
Yeah,
that's what
like,
you want from this
that's
shit,
good.
man.
Yeah.
Like I want it like, yeah, okay, this sounds like it was recorded in a fucking dingy basement because that's the imagery I want it conjuring in my mind when I listen to it. I want to feel like I'm having fucking weapons dragged through my fucking chest by a psychopath, and that's not going to sound like if it's got a fucking like a $5,000 budget, whatever the fuck on production. You know what I mean? So 100%, man, count me intrigued.
Dude, it's very good, and like it's like raw, but it's like I feel like maybe sometimes if people go too raw, it's like kind of, personally I think it gets like too it's unlistenable if the mix is like way off, but it's like it's kind of rougher production, but the mix is on point, so it's like super enjoyable still. You know what I'm saying? It's like it has that raw atmosphere, but it's still like just super proficient musically. The mix is good.
Gets like really dumb sometimes. I mean, obviously everyone loves Carcass, right? Lots of people like Reputrefaction, but I can't listen to that because, well, I mean, I'll listen to it. The songs are good because, I mean, it's like obviously the blueprint for gore grind and shit, but that mix is so awful, and it like makes me want to fucking like blow my ears out or some shit. Like I heard it for the first time. I was like, oh yeah, what's all this shit talk about Reputrefaction? Everyone says it's so good, and I was like, nah, I'm just gonna stick with Symphonies of Sickness.
Yeah, no doubt. It's what it is. It's like I just personally don't think I think once you cross this threshold of like too raw, and it's just like kind of unenjoyable at that point where I'm like, damn, if it was just a little better production, that shit would just sound so much better. You know what I mean? Like riffs would cut through like that much more and shit, you know? But yeah, I guess some people, I mean, look, you got entire genres of like black metal shit where people like want that shit to sound like it's like true if it sounds like fucking shit, you know?
Well, this is why I do find it so interesting with like raw production, because at the same time, like sometimes I think it depends on what a band's going for when they play, and occasionally that kind of really fucked like production style really works when a band is playing one as a unit where it just sounds like a fucking wall of noise. But if you're going to be playing songs that are more intricate, where there's like parts where like I want to be able to hear what the guitars are doing, or like the bass is the big one, right? Like when it's like super muddy, sometimes there's just like no, what the fuck is a bass guitar? I don't know. But like if you're playing like a more like intricate style of stuff, like yeah, you're gonna be wanting at least a decent mix on that shit. Otherwise, like too much is gonna be lost. But sometimes, like I do like some fucked production on certain things. You know, it's all it's all a stylistic choice. I mean, I do like a lot of black metal, so that definitely does inform that.
It's all situational, and I love like shit like, you know, like old like Olver, which is like arguably some of the worst shit, you know what I mean? Like
yeah, absolutely.
Like, yeah, that's just kind of a vibe though, you know, in and of itself. Like it's pretty cool. So I guess it's like is very situational, like band, like what their whole vibe is and shit, you know. But yeah, man, that definitely check that shit out, man. And I got another one. It's kind of cool actually. It incorporates the homie Seven here. This is all kind of like Barbaric Brutality team. Some shameless self-promotion, but the homie Nate Fay, he's in the band Sarcophagus, Self-Loathing. He has a solo project called Necroveg, which is like some just cool, like wild, brutal death metal. He actually just released an EP, and it's got Seven on guest vocals and my homie Adam from Catatonic Stupor. So that shit's hard as hell.
Hard. Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah, another thing I saw in your story and I was meant to check out but didn't.
Seven, how many tracks is it?
It's like 3 tracks. I wasn't even sure how many. He sent it to us as like one file, and they're kind of like, I don't know, the tracks are kind of weird just with how they start and end. So I wasn't sure if there was 3 or 4 until like he put it out yesterday. But there's 3 tracks. They're all pretty. It sounds like flutes, bro. More pig.
Man, that's never a fucking bad thing on my book, man. I love those boys.
Fluids is a good. It means it's gonna be good.
It's a good time for weirdos.
Yeah,
absolutely.
This like this one. This has kind of just got on my radar, and I'm not even a black metal dude, but immediately I just love the album cover, and I listened to it, and it's pretty top notch black metal. But that Spectral Wound.
Yeah, man.
Diabolical.
I think I've heard that album. Super fucking good, right?
Yeah, and that album cover's sick, bro. It's just like there's a part of me that loves the dorky black metal shit, but it's hella dark. He's like at a table with like a candelabra, just like head down, you know.
Yeah.
Some weapons, you know. It's just like a cool little scene, you know. It's a pretty cool album art.
Yeah, no, I haven't listened to the whole thing yet, but it is yeah, they do a really good job of capturing that kind of sound. Like it definitely has a lot of dark thrown in and the things like that. Yeah, no, it's real, some good stuff, man. Really nice.
Yeah, these days it's kind of like, for me, it's kind of far and few between, like when I listen to black metal bands. So it's got to be like really top notch, something that's a little different, whether it be like aesthetically or sonically. Like I just really pick and choose. So that one like immediately caught my eye.
Yeah, I'm
like,
kind of the same when it comes to black metal. I really delve deep enough into black metal because I mean I've only been into like the extreme side of metal for like like a few weeks over a year by now, and black metal was one of those that I kind of struggled to get into. I mean, I like some dark throwing albums.
I give it a year.
Showed me 13. Sorry.
I give it 1 year.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll delve into it more.
I don't know, man. I mean, death metal and slam shit's fucking good. I don't think it really gets better than that. I mean,
this is the thing. When I was younger, I fucking hated black metal. I remember like first listening to like fucking Burzum and Mayhem and just being like, this is shit. Like how the fuck could be like when I first heard it, right? Like I was just like, nah, I don't like this. When I was like fucking like 14, I just wasn't into it. It took me until like when I was sort of like in my mid-20s when I went back to it, and for me it was Gorgoroth and Immortal. Like I listened to both of those and I was just like, good fucking grief, this is next level. This is next level shit. And I just fucking so for me, I guess I'm less choosy on black metal just because it's been a relatively recent discovery as opposed to all the other kinds of metal that I listen to. So there's like I do generally like the sound, but there's definitely a lot of clone bands out there, as is with the case with like any style. And yeah, there's lots of it disposable, but at the same time, like even some of those bands, I just like it. Like if you sound like Immortal, I'll probably like you. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
I think that's almost like characteristic of the genre because they're like kind of so rigid and like it's like kind of like this tradition, like, oh, it's like true cult, you know. So it's like I don't even know if it's so much like copycat bands, but it's just like such a rigid genre of like it's like parameters that everybody just kind of starts to sound the same eventually a little bit, you know?
Yeah. Or just like no bass, as much tremolo picking as possible. Just some fucking guy shrieking from the back of the room in their fucking Norwegian shed. Yeah, it's like mostly all the same thing.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's to me, it just helps me like not get over my crippling tremolo riff addiction. Like it's just like I just give me all of the fucking like icy trem riffs all the time. So, but yeah, no, like the lack of like innovation. It's sort of like that counter movement that has happened where people have done like wild things with it, almost to piss off the gatekeepers. Because I love that stuff. I love anything that makes like fucking like dudes with like Celtic frost patches on their fucking battle vest go, what the fuck is this shit? Like to me, that's just a thing of wonder.
Yeah,
like,
it's like
you get mad at Death Heaven some more.
Yeah, it's like a Cradle of Filth and shit like that, right? So many of them get pissed off at that because they did like a symphonic type of thing with it. And there was another band, but I totally forgot their name. But yeah, no, there's like the ones that added the symphonic parts really pissed off all like the huge dark throwing fans and stuff like that. And then Fenriz ended up doing his own thing with that and pissed everyone off again.
It's the spirit of it all, man. Like fucking good. If you're not pissing someone off with this music, then you're failing. It's like always been at the core of it, I think. Like if you're pissing off metal fans, then fair enough. As long as you're doing what you love, shit.
Yeah, who better to make fun of than ourselves?
Like, I guess it's good to like, you know, pay homage and shit, but it's like, and I guess that kind of ties in with the question because like I kind of mentioned it earlier, like at least here in the U.S., and it might be shifting a little bit, but the past couple of years, what kind of reigns supreme is like at least in underground death metal, it's kind of like this resurgence of like old school death metal, what's like kind of maybe like characterized as like caveman death metal and shit. But I'm all about like kind of progression, like what modern death metal can be. Like I love paying homage, but it's like let's put some modern flavor on the shit, you know? Like
absolutely, it's important, man. Otherwise, you know, like don't get me wrong. Like, of course, like the stuff that's come before is incredible, and I think that's one of the main reasons why metal as a subculture has just lasted, even though it has had no right in doing so, is because we understand where we came from and we fucking paid respect to the greats. But on the flip side, there also needs to be new sounds coming in. We need to like always have like just fresh takes on these things. So it's it's definitely a balance, I think, like for sure.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, because I know like obviously like the labels like kind of it's almost like a huge movement. Like Maggot Stomp kickstarted it, like where like it's like these labels are really big. This whole like underground tape DIY like kind of scene in America, is that like kind of like simultaneously popping off over in Europe or England? Is that also like, I mean, with Instagram, it's like worldwide, but it seems like a lot of the bands over here and that kind of like caveman scene are like from the US and whatnot. I'm just wondering your guys' perspective.
Like
you know?
I'd say the only like death metal bands that I know around like from the UK who are making waves at the moment is like the main one's Vulgar Dissection. They're like the only one that I really know of. It's doing big like getting noticed, because I know Stump Grinder Records.
Yeah, my homie's
he's posted a lot about. Yeah, he's always talking about Vulgar Dissection. And there's another band that I think is starting to make like an apparition around here, because they're also from the UK, called Decrepid with a D at the end. And
those guys are sick.
Yeah, they were like more of like a blackened death metal, so it's not quite brutal death metal, but like around here in the UK, I've got to say, like there's like for every person, there's like 60 new thrash bands coming out. Over
yeah,
here,
like thrash is kicking the fuck off over here, man. I don't know what's in the water, but like, yeah, there's definitely a lot of thrash here. Another one to add to the death metal pile would be Celestial Sanctuary. Like they put out their record not that long ago, which is it's pretty fucking good, man. Like, and I can't. Yeah. So I think you are starting to see ripples, but it's not. There's not quite the base of like where you've got like these sort of like really fucking like independent fucking like labels and everything that are able to make this a scene really happen.
I'd say the only one that I know from the UK is Lifeless Chasm, and that's it.
Yeah.
Isn't I think they do a lot of work with Maggot Stomp. It's like Misako Unoho. It's like kind of a weird like record label name. Seven, you know that label. They always do like a bunch of Maggot Stomp releases. I think they often like do the vinyl releases. I think they're from England, to be real with you. It's
Never
like
heard of them.
you wouldn't think so. I think the title's Spanish, but yeah. Seven, you know what I'm talking about though, right?
Yeah, I just can't remember where they're based out of, or really. Yeah, I don't know.
Hell yeah. Real quick, you got your phone on you? I know this makes for bad. Look it up though, real quick. I'm just curious because
we do this all the fucking time.
Yeah. if you saw our Entombed episode, we were like, who sang on Clandestine? We did the vocals there. And I was just like, fuck it, we're looking it up. But what's the name of it?
It's like Misako. It's like ME space Sako SACO Unoho. I think that's like I think that's what it's called.
Say again. Like there's a lot of shit to type. Yeah, to
like,
try and take in there.
The first word is ME.
Yep.
The second word's SACO. The next word's UN.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's wild. I think.
It's is it OJ at the end? Like OJ. OJO at the end.
They're from London.
I got it up.
Yeah, they're from London. Yeah. Okay. So that I think they do a lot of, or at least early on. I know Maggot Stomp's pressing vinyl now, but I think they did a lot of the Maggot Stomp releases. Like Maggot Stomp would do the tape. They would like release do like an LP version and shit. So yeah, that's a pretty cool label out of there.
Oh yeah, they've got some good shit on here. Like first thing I see, they've got the Septage 7-inch vinyl on here, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's a cool label for sure. Yeah, another band, and I think they do kind of like delve into thrash, but what's that band? Cryptic Shift, I think it's. They're from aren't they from the UK?
I've never heard of them.
I don't know.
That's
Seven.
to Google once more.
Split, right? Yeah,
Huh?
no, they I think they're on that 4-way split. They're a pretty cool band, but I made like a meme kind of clowning them, like unintentionally, like pretty much. Like I guess it was intentionally, but they were a super cool sport about it for sure. He reached out, and now we're kind of homies. So
yeah, no, they're from over here. You know, I love.
okay,
Yeah, no, that's like death. Like I love a bit of like fucking deathy thrash. So I'll have to give that shit a go for sure.
yeah,
Absolutely.
it's super weird, like science fiction themes and shit too. You know?
Oh
It's
man,
pretty cool.
you've already got me. Sci-fi
Yeah,
and metal makes me
sold.
happy. Sick.
That ties into kind of the next one that I wrote down. Just speaking of Magastomp, the Inoculation, that was like a big ass release.
Yeah,
too.
I checked out that record. I checked that one out. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've got to get on that.
Had some interesting cover artwork. Yeah, I saw everyone was
Yeah.
hyping it up, which is normal for Maggot Stomp bands, right? Whenever something from Maggot Stomp's coming out, everyone either is like,
Yeah.
this shit's fucking horrible. Why would you even care about Maggot Stomp? All the bands sound the same, or if not, everyone's like, this is like the best shit that you're ever gonna hear in death metal. And shut the fuck up. So everyone hypes the fuck out of Maggot Stomp. But I'm not
somewhere
complaining
right
because I mean Maggot Stomp was some sick shit.
Yeah. It's very polarizing. You know what? I gotta be honest, I'm not trying to hate on this band, but I never really got it. Like it's very interesting, like because I do like Magastomp put out some wild card shit like Betas, which is more techy. But Seven, what do you think of Inoculation, bro? Are they kind of give me like some like maybe some of the riffs kind of remind me of like At the Gates. It's kind of like high pitch, like you know, or something like, you know, kind of those techy riffs, you know. It kind of gives me like a melody. I don't know.
I don't really like them.
Yeah, not to hate, but I know it was a big release, so I just wanted to talk about it. But it was like
I checked it out, but otherwise I don't remember much. I listened to it once and I was kind of like, sick. All right, that's just another thing that I've heard.
I'll tell you what, like I'm not even gonna lie, like I'm a fucking old school fucking Melodeath fan from back in the day. So if it sounds like At the Gates, even if it makes me feel like 15, like I might still like it. I'll have to see. I'll have to see.
It's not totally At the Gates core. It just has some riffs, and it's like I don't know. They play a lot of the riffs. It's like on some higher notes, you know what I mean? So it's like it just gives you that Melodeath vibe, you know. I've just been listening to such like fucking down tuned shit.
I've got space on my palette for both, but I know what you mean. It's easy to go off of like, it's so go, man, this stuff's too cheesy. I need more fucking like the distortion. Absolutely.
But yeah, man.
One note at a time. It's too much to digest otherwise.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just like some really low chugging. Yeah, just like
it doesn't get better. Just
really fucking dumb.
I love it.
One last thing, it's not necessarily a new release, but I think they repressed it on vinyl and they're putting out some tapes. But this was an awesome release last year, and I'm not like a big gore grind guy, but this band Miasmatic Necrosis.
Oh yes, yes,
oh,
that's
man.
a sick record.
Dude,
that
so
fucking
good.
thing
That was like
kills, man. Yeah, I remember Manny sent this to me along with some other gore grind thing he found. I mean, just the album cover alone lets you know that this is going to be fucking filthy, right? So I didn't know that they repressed it on tape and stuff, because now I'm going to have to look into that, because, man, that fucking record was so fucking good. I have a special place for gore grinds, like, just those...
It's brutal, mate!
Down,
it's
like,
brutal!
those pitch-shifted vocals of just, like, bellowing through, and then, like, these guitars, none of the riffs are actually original, but, you know, it's about the same, and it's one of those genres where you can write the lyrics after you've recorded the vocals. So yeah, it's fucking. So you could just write about some of the most fucked up shit, like degenerate shit as well at the same time, and no one cares, because I mean they're just here to listen to fucking someone program some drums and tune to A standard and be like, you know what, I can play some don't chuggy shit, and I'll have my friend come over. He can't do vocals, but I'll just make him go into the microphone and down pitch that shit, and there you go. Got some gore grind.
Oh, I love some toilet sound vocals. It just it's like it makes you feel like a fucking like a toddler for like throwing his fucking shit filled like diaper around the place.
Oh, it's like that fucking that meme that you sent me where it's like something about thrash metal fans and death metal fans and then grindcore
And then
fans.
grindcore is just a kid who's passed out on the floor while after
around.
throwing his shit on a wall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Sounds about right. Hell yeah. But yeah, that's the list, man. That's all I got. Anything you guys like want to shout out at all? Like anything you guys been bumping or some new shit that came out that was just like, holy shit.
Oh man, I mean, like a lot of the stuff which I've found recently, we were going to do on the monthly metal roundup, but there's one. I'll shout out one thing. I can't remember the name of the record, so just bear with me 1 second, right? But the band are called Bio Noise Generator. I found this record the other day, Bio Noise Generator, and it is like
I think Lifeless Chasm put out one of their tape. They're like some weird grind with like a saxophone.
Dude, it's fucking crazy. This album is basically like a mix of like fucking like slammy nutcase death grind, and with free jazz. Like there's fucking saxophone passages. Right? It's fucking insanity. It's so good.
Yeah.
What
did Jack call him? Jack called him like
he called it gore jazz.
That's cool.
Super fucking sick, really unique. I haven't heard anything like it before. If I just get, the album's called Neuromechanica. I'll shout that one out for now because I've been kind of obsessed with that. It's super chaotic, like super busy, like really guttural, but just those. Like obviously, you know, there's been fucking like brutal death metal bands that have had that jazz element, but it's just the fact that it's still so nasty while like because the band's always like being super slammy and there's just these fucking crazy sax passages on top. It's it's fucking nasty. Like I've not heard anything like it before. It's dope.
That's awesome, man. I think I know exactly who you're talking about. Because I don't think there's too many other like slammy brutal bands with saxophone.
No, and the thing is that could so easily become a gimmick. You know what I mean? Like it's just so easy to be like, oh, we're just gonna throw a fucking horn section on top of something. But the energy is so chaotic that I've really got wrapped up in it, and it's like just 16 minutes of going completely insane. It's amazing.
Hell yeah, that's badass.
No, for sure.
I feel terrible. Yeah. So you're Manny, other homie. I never even got your name, bruh. What's your name?
Oh yeah, I'm Sean. So yeah.
Oh, Sean. There you go. I got you in the bottom left hand corner. What's up, Sean? I'm Michael.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been the one that's been I've been the one doing the messenger boy throughout this entire time over Instagram.
I've got him doing Instagram
taking information down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man. So that's pretty much all the news. Sean, you got any like shout outs? Anything you've been stuck on? I don't want to spill the bean, you know, no pun intended on
I'll go for one.
Roundup, but
yeah, spill the beans. That's it. He's getting into the bean speak. He's getting into the bean speak.
Beautiful. That's what we like to see.
I'll probably go with the one that I know came out fairly recently, but it's Spiritual Embodiment with their self-titled. I don't know if you've listened to the Spiritual Embodiment self-titled.
Spiritual Embodiment? No, I haven't. That sounds dope. I'm gonna write it down.
Oh wow. Hey, I found something that no one seems to have heard of. But I'm not sure who released it. But it just came up on my Spotify as like a new releases for me. And usually the new releases are like more popular bands, but this one I was like, no, this one's like got about 100 monthly listeners. So I'll check this. And it's like 3 tracks. It's very death doom, and I'm not really a big fan of doom metal, but death doom is something that I can dig, because obviously being huge into death metal, adding that doom element gives it this whole new like feeling, so it kind of revitalizes the experience. And the first track on there is like literally 2 notes with this like eerie noise behind it, and then the next few tracks are just death doom fucking excellence. I've listened to it a few times, but obviously with it being so short, it passes by so quick, and because you get so entranced, you're like, what the fuck have I just listened to? But I know it's good. So yeah, definitely check out the Spiritual Embodiment self-titled. That shit is fucking doomy as fuck.
I'm definitely getting on that because I am the resident doom metal fan of us two, and I mean, like, yeah, I fucking love death doom when it's done properly. Actually, you sent me that EP. What was the band called? Seep. Was it like the UC?
Yeah, CCP. Yeah.
Dude, I will shout out Seep while we're on the Death Doom hype. That band is fucking nasty, man. It's like it's let me look that up. It's called like Diaries
Souvenirs of a Necrosadist.
Yeah,
Souvenirs
that's
of a
right.
Necrosadist.
Yeah, dude, that fucking EP is dirty. It's just like
Yeah.
just full it's just one of those EPs you throw it on in your headphones, and for the entirety you just like hate the entire human race and just want them all fucking dead. It just has that really
Also they've got some pretty good song titles, right?
Yeah,
Boil
no,
and
it's,
Piss. Go on.
yeah, no, wait a minute, I'll look it up.
Phlegm Grave. That's the name, or something like that. I don't remember. Phlegm Burial. That's it.
Yes.
Dude, that's,
I can relate to the whole phlegm burial thing though, man. Like forever with phlegm.
Deep is
Disgusting.
actually a one-man band, and the one dude from Seep actually runs a label called Gurgling Gore. It's like
Yeah, I know Gurgling Gore. Yeah.
Yeah, they just put out like a really cool like pharmacist split, a fluid split, some really cool shit.
Dope. I'll have to listen to that shit. 100%.
Yeah.
That's the homie, man. So I had to shout him out. Yeah, Death Doom is like wild, man. It could get like super like atmospheric almost. You know what I mean? Like some of it, like
I think it's
a little bit.
kind of having like a revitalization along with the old school death metal thing, because what a lot of these like new old school death metal bands, especially because like same with Sugabog, who obviously the really like big band holding the torch for this sort of shit. Their first EP, everyone called it like an old school death metal record, but at the same time it had those super like doomy parts. I mean, sure, there was lots of death metal, but lots of the parts ended up going really slow and giving this sort of atmosphere and just winding around. And
It's good stuff.
I think that kind of created this it created people to go like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do death doom, and obviously it creates some people to go, well, we're gonna go with old school death metal and take that sort of influence from it. And obviously, so I think it's kind of cool how we've got two genres up on the rise. Obviously the main favorite is that old school death metal worship, but all the bands are tuning to B standard and lower instead of like in E flat. So yeah.
Yeah, dope, man. I mean, to me, like, I really like. I'm really interested in how like there are all of these different sort of eras and geographical kind of scenes that are all kind of getting represented in their own ways through these different bands. It's like, if you would have told me, for example, that Demelik would have become like such a huge influence riff-wise for so many bands for like a new movement, like that. I mean, like that's amazing. I mean, I've always had a bit of a rocky relationship with that band personally because the vocals are a bit off, but the riffs are like one of a kind, right? And there's so much of that, like in that fucking like I hear a lot of them in like Tomb Mold or something, you know what I mean? Like, and it just all these different flavors are all getting mixed together in a way that like you wouldn't necessarily have heard before. So that in itself like does mean that you get a lot of new flavors coming out, even if they are kind of like just mixing like different old bands. It's still you're getting like really cool new mixes of stuff, and I like it's what keeps it fun for me, you know, like just like being able to hear all these different kind of takes on this sound, like. You know, who would have thought? Who would have thunk it that this music has so much legs? You know, that has so much mileage to it. Like it really does. It's so creatively fulfilling.
Dude, I'm loving like just speaking of Sanguine Sugabog, how they're like. I feel like some bands are taking it more like I feel like just maybe like super old school early '90s shit was like hella big, like trying to like recreate that sound and vibe, you know. But now I think people are like incorporating pingy snares, like straight up slam riffs. I'm like, yo, this is sick. Yeah, it's like going like more like brutal death metal direction a little
brutal
bit.
Death metal shit is one of my main places to be. So I have a big love for pingy snares, and I remember when the single for Menstrual Envy came out, he was alarmed. He was worried, or Manny was. I don't know.
A little bit.
Someone else different.
A tiny bit, yeah.
Because he was like, oh no, they're gonna go do some slammy shit. I was like, dude, this is fucking amazing. Because
Brutal
death metal was like mainly what I listened to, and
Me
the
too,
slammy shit was starting. I was starting to incorporate that. I mean, it was at a point where I had heard of Devourment, but I listened to Devourment's album again. I was like, you know what? Devourment's fucking sick, and so I was
Yes.
jamming that shit a lot. And then Menstrual Envy came out, and obviously had the more slammy side to it. Also, the video may have made me biased because that shit was pretty funny.
Oh man,
Oh, yeah.
but dude, that's like the best music video I've seen in at least 5 years.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like find me a more entertaining music video. The fucking that like them coming together with Trauma is just one of those like beautiful magical things of like this is like the universes have just like met in harmony. Like this is perfect. Like the whole trashy like horror kind of an aesthetic that they have going on, and like the kind of the tongue in cheek thing. Like it's perfect. It's like literally perfect. So I mean that video is fucking incredible. Like I'm not a big music video guy in general, but I've watched that like probably close to about 10 times. It's so fun.
It was funny as hell. I love it. Yeah. I love
The
music
first
videos.
time
Yeah.
I saw that video, I was like by myself, clutching my stomach, like just bowling over myself, laughing. It's fucking hysterical. So good.
I think it's like with the, I mean, I guess, yeah, I love music videos, but it's like, that's the thing. You say you're not a big music video guy, but it's like a lot of music videos are just hella bad, I feel like.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so many bands
They're
just
not
like
cool.
in some like old abandoned warehouse,
Yeah.
and they're all just
Yeah.
headbanging
Yeah.
and shit. And the guy without hair is kind of there, like, oh, I'm kind of being left. He's usually gonna be the vocalist because he can't do shit, and so they're all just playing their instruments, and it's like, wow, I could have just watched like a live video and seen it
Yeah.
all there. Whereas like having the budget is obviously a fucking thing for music videos. It's probably cheaper to go to some old abandoned warehouse and just mimic a tune than it is to go with Trauma and get these casts of these fucking like huge dicks made for you. Yeah, I mean the budget's like there for them at
You could do
least.
so much like
So
DIY shit in the backyard, probably though. I bet, you know what I mean. You could do so much DIY, like feed, move,
Yeah,
or just in
sure.
someone's backyard. You just got to be creative.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because yeah, me and Manny are both in like both in our own bands, and with my band, I always like think to myself, man, how funny would it be to just like create our own like shitty blood bags and get one of us to just go around and like, because our bassist, we practice at his because he lives on a farm, which is pretty good because it's pretty isolated and shit like that. And having a farm, you know, you put like a slight filter on there to make it look a bit gloomier.
Yeah.
And then often you can just have one of us run around, like have it like almost like Texas Chainsaw Massacre or something like that. You know?
Exactly. That was
meat,
precisely what I was
there's
thinking.
like a freezer in there. You could
Yeah.
there's like a whole freezer case in there which you could like fake blood, like stab them and then just put them into that freezer and just have like a frame of them in the freezer. I mean, you know, it's like have some fun with it. Don't just be a band that's like, yeah, let's upload a video of us just playing our instruments.
Mm.
Me and Seven talk about that all the time. We brainstorm because I love, like, as much as I love like metal, I'm like, and I don't actively listen to it, but I've like had this long relationship with rap as well, and I feel like rap music videos are dope. Like oftentimes,
Yeah,
it's not
definitely.
just performing. It's like a story and a plot and shit, you know. And it's like, and like even there's like this whole like underground rap scene, like rappers like Bones who like make so many videos, but they're all DIY, like old school camcorder aesthetics, just like, you know, just low budget, but like they're still clean as hell, you know. It's like it's just all about how creative you could be, I guess, you know. But
absolutely. Like I do feel as though there's a lot that metal could learn from how like sort of hip hop, like now especially, like does fucking like sort of present itself, like because they like it just always feels like super authentic, if nothing else, all the good stuff anyway. Like, and yeah, like they put a lot of care into music videos. A lot of rappers, you know, like I'm trying to think of some in particular. There was one Denzel Curry featuring Zillakami and JPEG Mafia. I can't remember the name of the song, but that's got like a whole like kind of a story to it, and it's super sick. Like I do completely agree.
Yeah, those cats, oh damn, I'm so stupid. What's Zillakami's group? City Morgue. Okay, yeah, City Yeah, like they got wild videos. It's just a wild, like, I just like having that visual companion. I feel like rap has like puts a lot of emphasis on the aesthetic aspect or like visual component of the music too. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool, you know, for sure.
Yeah, and plus City Morgue have more fucked up videos than most death metal bands. Like a couple of those are like legitimately shocking. It's like, what the fuck? You've just got people shooting up heroin in your video. I don't think that's cool, but what the fuck?
It's just like that grimy. I love that, like, kind of just spotlighting that grimy shit, you know. It's like,
Yeah.
that's super cool, you know. I don't know, it's like it's just kind of real, you know. It might sound cliche, but it's like, whoa, that shit's like catches you off guard, makes you feel some type of way a little bit, you know? But it's like cool,
definitely did when I first saw it, man. I was like, Jesus Christ, man. And that's I haven't seen that before, you know what I mean? It felt transgressive, you know. It's fucking cool.
Yeah,
man,
also
definitely
being on like
pushing
the
the
rap and hip hop type of thing is like, it's pretty fucking good because lots of these like, I mean, I've only started scratching the surface of hip hop and rap stuff because I remember I had Wu-Tang Clan and that was it. I was like, yeah, this shit's pretty good.
Hell yeah.
So I've only scratched the surface and I need to check out a lot more shit because I'm only on like the more surface level stuff. I mean, there's one called Clipping, you probably know. I kind of like that shit a lot because it has the like the movie aesthetic with it because all their lyrics are about like torturing and killing people and shit like that, exactly what death metal was like. So I had this kind of place to be able to tie it together, and I think death metal and rap slash like hip hop are holding hands at the moment, with the new shit, with it being like underground, a bit more raw.
That whole,
So
like,
yeah,
trap
it's
rap.
pretty fucking sick. Yeah.
Yeah, that trap metal type of shit, you know.
Yeah, because like
screaming,
fluids have those trap beats in the background, don't they? With like the like hi-hat shit and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Dude, we love it. Even, I mean, you talked about it before, but stuff on site, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's like pretty cool shit. Like, it's like you're seeing a lot of like metal being brought into rap, but not a lot of rap being brought into metal. But shit like fluid stuff outside, it's kind of cool, you know. That's pretty refreshing.
Yeah, no, sure. I mean, I do like when you get that kind of variety in vocal delivery that a lot of hip hop has. Like I do enjoy. That's one thing I really like about Snuffed. Like there's a bunch of fucking bands who kind of bring that in, and like to me, like there's kind of a similarity in terms of the fact that like when you rap, obviously that it's not melodic. So obviously you got a lot of melodic rappers now, but it's you're talking go rhythmically, and in the same way, like when you do death metal vocals or any kind of harsh vocal, you're like kind of you're getting rid of melody, and like a lot of the really good kind of like extreme vocalists like say they take at least a little bit of influence from hip hop because the amount of like what you can do in terms of like a rhythmic like cadence, like in death metal when like sometimes like something can still be so catchy as a vocal line if it comes off right, like if the cadence is there, and it just hits that same kind of spot in my brain, I think, where I'm just like, oh, that's nice, that's catchy, that's hard, you know what I mean?
Slam, bro. When in slam riffs where it's like the guitar, the chugs, the vocals, and the drums all sync up, where it's like, like and like the vocals are like, it's like kind of like that same vibe. It gives like old Dying Fetus or something, dude. It almost like sounds like rap. You know what I mean? Like you listen.
Absolutely.
Like when
that's so shit.
The first thing I love to notice about slam is like that syncing up of like the guitar chugs, like cymbal hits and vocals. It's just like it's kind of bouncy, you know what I mean? Especially like
super fucking bouncy. Yeah,
well, that's the entire point. There's like the slam shit's all about disco fever, isn't it? Like really, it's just dance music for people who are into death metal. Let's be honest.
Dude, it really is. Straight up. Yeah.
Like whenever I'm listening to a slam record out in public or something like that, I really have to hold back, not trying to like walking on beat, because otherwise I'm literally walking around like this, just fucking exactly.
Start turning into fucking John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever, just like.
But just speaking of like variety in vocals and melody, and like that's why I really like and not to hate on like, but I feel like a lot of like maybe like the resurgence of old school death metal, it's very like the vocals are often very one note, just kind of drenched in reverb, just kind of growling. But I love Brutal Death and Slam because like every vocalist like has like 3 or 4 different styles within even like one song, you know, like that really like throaty guttural and like almost like a pig squeal variant or like, you know what I mean, or just some like mids. Like I feel like it's way more versatile. They treat like their vocals like an instrument.
Like an instrument. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, like this thing about that, it's pretty fucking good because obviously, as you say, in the old school death metal shit, it's all like one note. I mean, there's a lot of slam bands that do that. I mean, Devourment, lots of people fucking say, oh, it's just the same thing over and over. There's brutal death metal bands that do that a lot. We always joke about it.
As much as I do like Discord, that is literally just the same fucking gurgle for like 45 minutes.
I was listening to Discord, Cranial Impalement.
That's the one.
Man, he saw this and he's like, you know what? I haven't listened to Discord for ages, so I'm gonna listen to it again. He's like, it's just the same fucking vocal for the entire album. It gets really annoying.
45 minutes.
Oh no, not only 45 minutes. Like,
it's wild. I feel like with Brutal Death, it's either like the vocalist, and because I spoke generally, but it's either like the vocalist is hella varied and has a few styles, or it's just that one guttural.
I think it just comes with the design, right? With the instruments being so simplistic and usually the same thing. I mean, you know, you always expect the drums to just have one sound. They're not most of the time what they're doing with the double bass pedal is either just one like hit every now and then, or if not, they're just going fucking like double strokes all the time.
Well,
and
I mean, for me,
the guitars are doing the same chuggy shit all the time. So it just depends on like what the band is doing. Like,
because sometimes that does work for me. Like, because occasionally, like, where a band is like keeping it fucking like super interesting. Like, if anything, like the vocal kind of adds just a texture on top of it. Like if it is like sort of that more monotone thing, but if it is just, you know, a band playing something a bit more generic, like then it just kind of just like, well, maybe you should have put a bit more variety. It depends. And that's the thing. It can work in so many different ways. Like, you know, I definitely do appreciate vocal variety. It goes a long way.
That's like one thing that I noticed immediately in that Sangui Sukabog too, that new shit. It's like,
he definitely stepped his fucking game up vocally without a doubt. Like as soon as that fucking like at the end of Menstrual Envy, like it's like, oh, I've never heard him go that guttural before. Like, you know, for sure.
That's the dude from Mortition. At the very end of Menstrual Envy, that's the dude from Mortition.
Oh, is it? Well,
yeah.
I did wonder. I did wonder where his fucking vocal spot was.
Like guitar in it. I didn't know that they got vocals from Mortician as well. Or was it Roger Peugeot that did the fucking vocals?
No, yeah, he did.
I didn't know.
Heavy as hell.
I didn't know Roger did vocals because I knew Will Rama's the vocalist for Mortician, right? Unless if I'm totally fucking wrong.
So the guitarist did vocals. The guitarist of Mortician, not even the vocalist, did guest vocals on Sangui Sukabog? 7?
No, they're vocalists. I'm taking a boner. Sorry, that was wrong name.
Okay. Because they always talked about Roger being on there, but they never said anything about Will being on
there. Yeah, only Roger. Just the guitarist featured on there. 7.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. I think that's Devin, bro. Because like Will Romer's vocals are just like kind of like just a growl. It's not even like super guttural with it and shit, you know?
Yeah. He just sounds mad different than he does the rest of the song.
Yeah, because he'll just be busting out some random like wet sounding gutturals, bro. They're just, you know what I mean? That's super like out of nowhere, just like that throaty guttural. Well,
yeah, wet is definitely the word.
Yeah, it's fucking drenched vocal right there, honestly.
Hell yeah. But Seven, what's your take on vocals, man? I know you fucking listen. You like hella wild ass vocalists that sound like they're in a blender and shit.
I mean, there's 2 bands I mainly get my all that stupid shit is from Logistic Slaughter and this band out of Japan called Glossectomy. I don't know if they're still together, but they got a release out in like 2012 that is the stupidest shit you ever heard.
Glossectomy, you said? They're like kind of slammy, right?
Glossectomy with the G. Yeah,
Oh,
and I'm pretty sure that's just
Yeah.
where the Logistic Slaughter dude got his shit from.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, that dude is the king of the.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
actually wondering about that on the fucking Snuffed site, the No Clown Shit EP. There was a part where he did a vocal and like a guttural, and it went like in the fucking thing.
Yeah.
And I thought it was at first it's like, what the fuck's going on here? And it made me laugh a bit, but then I was like, at the same time, it's pretty fucking sick at the same time.
It's pretty hard, huh?
It is. It is. No, I mean, when I heard it, I was just like, that sounds like someone like getting their throat slit and trying to like, you know. So to me, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I straight ripped that from another band, but
Man, we all ripped it straight from another band. It's all part of
you
creativity,
gotta have
isn't it? Of
influences
course.
from somewhere.
Yeah.
Logistics Slaughter's on the team too, so they're all good. We got 2 blenders on the squad, dude.
Fantastic.
The blender boys. Tell ya.
Amazing.
Bean
Yeah.
Bois, the Blender Boys.
Yeah, man. Well, that was pretty much. I mean, in terms of like kind of talking points, I had any questions. I mean, or any questions at all for us? I mean, I know you guys like fucking stuff on site or anything you guys were wondering about at all, or what? Just curious.
Yeah, let's have a think here. We didn't really plan out much. Like most of these things, we just pick a topic and then we're gonna do that.
We never planned.
Like, we have zero planning ever.
No doubt.
So yeah.
That's kind of how we are. We have like some rough, like a little skeleton, like maybe a little roadmap, but it goes off in the weeds pretty quick. For
Yeah,
sure.
I watched the episode with the dude from Unknown today, and you guys were just talking about fucking Arby's and shit.
Oh hell yeah! Dude, we just went on about fast food. That was awesome.
That's what I like to hear. 100%.
Where exactly do you guys live in the UK? In England?
We live like you're based in Dover, and I live in Folkestone. So like they're like 2 towns that are like really close to each other. So southeast England.
Southeast.
Yeah. We met because my band Wombstone were playing an open mic night, and he sort of came up while we were doing our set and was just like, yeah, that was fucking dope, man. Oh, sick. I was like, oh, cool. And then he goes up on stage and like it's just him with his guitar. And here's this like 14-year-old homie absolutely fucking ripping the shit out of some fucking Machine Head solos. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, dude,
Yeah.
like, I'm not gonna let this guy underplay himself. This kid is fucking talented. And I was just like, Jesus Christ.
And
then like we talked afterwards.
Lockdown happened, and I found out about slam, and my guitar skills have just like degenerated. But at the same time, I found out about cow decapitation. I mean, you've probably seen it now. I've got fucking 2 posters of cow decapitation, and that shit is like, I fucking love that band. They're already the band that made me go like deep into extreme metal, because like within the first weeks of the lockdown here, they released the video for Bring Back the Plague.
Yeah.
Where it's just them like in their houses doing random shit. And I heard that for the first time. I was like, this is like totally different to what I've heard, because at that point, death metal to me was Cannibal Corpse and Obituary. I mean, I thought that shit was good, but it wasn't so interesting to me. Whereas Bring Back the Plague had that melody I was used to. Because otherwise, like my favorite band at that point was always Trivium, right? I mean, I know they get clowned on a lot and shit like that, but otherwise, I think they make some good fucking tracks. And then I found Monolith Within Humanity, and that was it. I was like, these slammy parts, his vocals, what the fuck's going on? I mean, it's the first album where he says some really
Travis Ryan is one of the all-time great death metal vocalists. Like, I will not be told otherwise. He's fucking crazy, man. Like, the dude is a fucking monster. It's incredible.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I used to listen to a lot of fucking. So I'm relatively like, I guess in the big scheme of things, somewhat new to like death metal, but I always like kind of flirted with it, like being in different subgenres of punk and weird shit. and I used to listen to a band called The Locust, which is like just weird.
Oh yes, I fucking love the Locust, dude. Yes.
Yeah, dude, The Locust was like actually shared members of Cattle Decapitation. It was like Cattle Decapitation.
Oh no shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so wild,
Yeah.
dude. So like all these weird scene grind kids that listen to Locust like fuck with Cattle Decap because it was like same members,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I guess it's like if the Locust was like a kind of more like a punky, like grindy thing.
They are fucking like super weird, like off the wall
makes
kind
sense
of
if they're
grind
like
stuff.
old
Like
Cattle
really
members,
weird
right? 'Cause
band in the best way.
The early Cattle shit was like super grindy, gore grindy shit like that.
Yeah,
made
it's
by
like almost like
vegetarians.
kind of like like the first album, Human Jerky. I think Human Jerky was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
kind of like that was almost like old like carcassy shit. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah,
kinda, I
because
felt like, you know?
Travis cites Carcass as like, being one of his all-time favorite bands. I mean, Symphonies of Sickness is his favorite, right? So yeah, they kind of got together and made Human Jerky. I mean, it's not exactly gore grind because the vocals aren't pitched down. Like he's doing a layering type. I think he's doing like almost a deicide layering where he's doing his lows and having those highs on top of it. And most of the vocals on that album are so wet.
Yeah, I oftentimes don't like that layered, but like on that album, that shit's kind of cool for sure.
Yeah.
The highs on the over the lows.
Yeah. That was the next album that they came out with I don't think it was as good as Human Jerky, Homivore, especially because there's an issue with it where the fucking the distortion pedal that the guitarist was using, he was running it with a battery, and you can hear as the record goes on, the distortion goes further lower and lower and lower and lower because the battery was dying whilst they're recording it. So on the last track, there's like zero distortion.
By the end, it just sounds like fucking like the Shadows, like bang 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 bang.
Yeah.
Like a straight banjo, bro.
Yeah. It just sounds like the fucking that scene out of Deliverance.
Gore grind. This like gore grind album. Yeah, it was pretty fucking funny, honestly. I never noticed it until he mentioned it, and I thought it was hilarious.
That's truly some broke boy shit, dude. That's like acoustic gore grind by the end, dude. You're distortion battery.
You know what? Like when I finally get to be able to record my music, I'm making sure like I'm using a battery that's on its last life, because then by the end of it, it'll just be like this twangy ass tone.
Fresh D battery, bro. Get you a new one right out of the package.
Yeah. I'm gotta wear down the one that I've got on the pedal right now, and then after I'll get ready to record.
So that was my like kind of exposure. Like I kind of flirted that band. Like I kind of flirted while I was in a punk and weird shit, flirted with death metal, and it was even I think what's the album where it was? It's the one behind you. I think the one with the it's like the kind of Hindu like to your.
Oh yeah,
right.
Karma Bloody Karma.
Yeah. That one had came out and that was like definitely more death metal, straight up. You know what I mean?
Oh
that was like around the time I was getting into them. That album came out.
Yeah. Obviously, with the me and my favorite band, I could fucking talk forever about them. But
I know it.
Yeah.
I opened the can of
worms,
almost.
Yeah, you have now. But with that album, like it has a lot more death metal influence, but they brung back the grindy shit within it, because after Homivore, they came out with To Serve Man, which was way more death metal. It was just this like
that's the cover where it's like a dude on a platter, right? He's like,
yeah, with holding himself out on the platter. Yeah.
Humanure, did that follow that? Humanure followed that?
Yeah, Humanure, that one was also pretty death metal, but they were trying out some new stuff with that one. But then when it came to Karma Bloody Karma, and they just like brung back this grindy shit, added some doom elements into there. At this point, he was doing these weird like high vocals that just didn't make any kind of sense. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a solid album. To me, it's their best album, but maybe that's just because I'm dumb.
Oh, controversial take, but we like those here.
You know it is. From the first episode of this thing, when we did our top 5 albums, I was like, yeah, Karma Bloody Karma is my favorite album that I've heard.
Yeah.
And because we don't have that many people who listen to us yet. I didn't get anyone like trying to shoot me yet, but I'm sure it'll happen with as time comes.
One day we're we're gonna go viral and we're just gonna have a fucking just an absolute horde of neckbeards selling us we're fucking posers. I'm so ready for it. I am so fucking ready for it.
Yeah,
Bean Bois
like you
is
said,
about
if
to
we ain't
break
pissing
down
anyone
the
off,
algorithm.
we're doing something wrong.
Bean Bois about to crash the internet, bro. It's about to go viral. Like this episode, dude. Like the
Yeah.
They've never seen nothing like it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, like Manny said at the beginning, they thought fucking Avengers Endgame was the greatest crossover of all time.
Oh, they've seen nothing.
I think it's right here. Yeah, they ain't seen shit yet.
That was a funny ass intro, bro. I like how you like kind of messed it up, but just kept rolling.
Oh, I completely fucked it up. I overthought the fucking thing
Yeah,
entirely.
That's what we do because we don't edit shit. We don't even add like the first piece of editing that we've ever done was in the last video that we just came up with, which was our Entombed album ranking. Because this fucking internet died.
Yeah,
in the
my
middle of it.
internet fucking just caved in halfway through.
We had to
so, yeah.
put the videos together.
Yeah.
And that's the most editing this channel has ever seen.
Yeah, no, I'm a lazy fuck,
man.
man. It takes time to sit through a fucking video and make cuts. Like, I just can't be bothered, man. And like, I literally was opening up like the fucking like the Windows default like movie editor, like the new school Windows movie maker. Like literally like absolute fucking dumbass shit. Just opening it up and just putting these two clips together. And for some reason, it took like 3 fucking hours to stitch 2 like video clips together. So I don't know,
it made the upload time take forever, right? That was
it
at like
did.
12
It really
o'clock,
did.
and
By the time it was done, it was like
7
6 in
a.m.
the
by the time
fucking
it was done.
morning, man. It was crazy. But what are you gonna do? This is the thing we do for the love of beans.
Dude, Seven knows
Absolutely.
all
Not
about
for the
that.
love of metal, for the love of beans.
Devin was editing all the like Draped and Dripped, and we didn't even do a lot of editing. Sometimes we would they would just go on real long, and at first we wanted to keep it more short form, so we'd edit out some just some clips of the conversation. But even just putting in all the clips and audio samples and everything, that shit took days, huh?
Yeah. From watching your shit, I see all the time that you're like, when someone mentions a band or something, you go out and you find the specific part that they're talking about. So yeah, I'm sure it must take a little bit of time, more than we can be asked to do.
It wasn't that fun.
Yeah. Yeah, the fucking bass player in my band, he's trying to make a YouTube channel at the moment, and he actually has like real editing software where it's Premiere Pro, and he says he fucking hates his life for actually trying to do this. Yeah, so I don't even know if I can be asked to ever edit anything.
Yeah, that's what I was using.
I mean, sure, it'd probably be good. Yeah, it'd probably be good to have that sort of like representation when we talk about a specific part in a song, just to clip, like have it cut to that. But
yeah, but like the
somebody
YouTube
else.
algorithm will
Doesn't that
shut
cost
our
money?
shit down. They are too fucking
true,
on it with
yeah.
like this shit. Like you've got to be
that is
super
true.
careful
Yeah.
with what clips you use.
Yeah,
Otherwise
I
you-
actually forgot about that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised none of our shit's gotten taken down.
Yeah.
I haven't paid no mind to that at all.
We haven't monetized it. I don't know who the fuck would want to advertise on our
Exactly.
Yeah, our channel isn't monetized,
We got
so
shit
it's
views,
like, yeah,
too, so that's what it is.
Yeah, fuck it.
like you said on the first one, we're just doing this for dumb people. Like, so
Oh, yeah.
who's actually gonna want to put their
They can't
ads on this stuff? Yeah, who's gonna put ads on two fucking dumbasses just talking about random bands that they found? Like,
Oh my god, I love Entombed so much. Seriously though, like doing that video made me realize, like, holy shit, I do actually love that band. I'd never given them enough time of day, but fuck me. What a fucking what a band. Rest in fucking peace, LG, man. That dude was such a good vocalist. Such a fucking great band.
Yeah. I gotta be honest. Swedish death metal is something that I just like completely, and like, no disrespect, I completely glossed over. And it was like,
yeah,
once got into
I
death
was the
metal-
same.
You're the same? Yeah.
Yeah,
I just
I
knew a lot of
I
punk
remember,
and
like-
DB when I was younger, and I feel like it's very
Yeah, so-
punky DVD death metal. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, you wanted something different with it than the same type of sound.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No doubt.
What's the kind
Yeah,
of
I
sound
mean-
that really gets you going in death metal? What's the thing that is reliably just makes you go like, fuck yeah?
Shugs,
Yeah,
hammers,
yeah, these days,
slams.
like, kind of chugging, but I always like if I'm gonna listen to old school death metal, I've always kind of and everybody pronounces it differently, but Demilich or Demilich, you know, like Finland, like Adramelik, Demigod, Convulsion.
Yeah.
I always like that. I feel like it was darker, you know what I mean? And it wasn't like D beat or skank beat. It was more like double bass and kind of weird timing and shit, you know. It was like I felt like it was darker and kind of scarier sounding, you know.
Yeah,
like,
no, the Finland stuff is like the riff style is just fucking warps. You know what I mean? Like they've really fucking honed in on the strange winding riffs. Like, you know what I mean? It's super fucking unique. Like those bands were coming out around that time. Like they're like one of the great examples that I think you could put to someone for saying that death metal can be art, because it is really like, I'm not sure if there's many other styles of music that would be able to really like take that kind of influence, that kind of like that weird compositional like way of looking at it with super thing. Like the vocals for I to be honest, I'm not as like well versed in sort of the Finland stuff as I should be, really, because the Demilic riffs are fucking nuts. Like it's just like, what the fuck is this doing? Like I really do.
I thought it was way too confusing.
It's fucking cool though. Like the vibe you get off it is different for sure.
Totally, yeah. And the vocals are like I'm not like obviously hella crazy. They're like, you know, super like kind of froggy, like very like, you know, like rudimentary, like gun rolls and shit kind of almost, you know. But it's like the riffs are fucking wild. So like when I listen to old school death metal, I'm not so much big on like the old Florida or Swedish stuff. I'm more like I listen to Finland or like old like New York, dude, like Suffocation and Internal Bleeding.
Yeah.
Shit like that. You know, that's my kind of shit, you know, for
sure. Absolutely, man. I fucking recently.
Stuff,
Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I wasn't saying much. You could see.
Yeah, no, I recently reacquainted myself with like Internal Bleeding. Man, hard.
That was because of me. That was because
too
of me.
fucking hard.
It's so good, and
I showed you Mortal Decay, and then afterwards I was like, yeah.
It blows my mind. Like you look like Effigy of the Forgotten. I think it was like 1991 or 1992. Like that shit was like kind of in a league of its own. Like I got like love for like Obituary, but I'm just like, damn, this shit was like, you know, Obituary and like Morbid Angel and stuff. But I'm like, damn, I just felt like Suffocation was just like so much harder. Like that shit was hella.
Well, yeah, they were like the proto brutal death metal band, right? And being the proto brutal death metal band, they created the first slam riff, or like the prototype. And people were like, yeah, what if we had whole songs where it's just jun 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 jun.
Yeah, it's all based on that one. What's it called? In Veracity of the. What's that song?
Yeah, Legion of Veracity.
Yeah. Literally, like that is like slam ground zero. It's incredible, man. It is incredible how they did just like single-handedly like come up with a great chunk of like brutal death metal's like musical vocabulary. It just comes from that one fucking band, to the point where like back in the day they used to just call like brutal death metal bands Suffo clones, because they were just like, yeah, this is just a band that sounds like Suffocation. You know what I mean? But like now it's it's nuts.
Yeah, totally, man. That whole scene though, like a lot of people call like that band Pyrexia, or there's that legendary album Sermon of Mockery. They call it just like Effigy of the Forgotten Worship, which it is, but it's like, yo, what's the problem with that? They both fucking slap.
No, 110%.
Band. Fucking that Sermon of Mockery is a chunky as fuck album. It's like we were on about Carcass earlier with the being the proto Gorgon guys. I mean, it's the same thing with Suffocation, where they became more technical with time. I mean, they became the technical death, like brutal death metal band, right? But less of the brutal stuff was incorporated, and they started having more technical riffs. So having these people that were like worshipping Effigy of the Forgotten continues the torture of what Effigy of the Forgotten was doing, where it's just these brutal death metal and slam riffs. Same as with Carcass with Reputrefaction. There's so many people who are taking the same idea, that they had and giving it better production first of all, and it continues that because Carcass became far more melodic over time.
See, like
So what's the
I
problem
said,
with becoming a clone
I'm
band, you
fucking,
know?
I'm an old, I've got love for Melodeath, and for me, like, it's all about hard work. For me, I think that album is fucking ridiculous. Like, just in terms of like, I know for a lot of the Gorg, like sort of the old school fans, that like I can understand why that would be just too jarring a fucking change. But holy fucking shit! Like to me, it's just like I do love like melodic metal, and to me that was like sort of the first time that had been married like that. It's just it's a wonderful thing. I mean, they basically came
Artwork
up with
immediately
it.
made me
How the
think
fuck can
death
one
metal,
band
Megadeth.
come up with like gore grind? You could say that like sort of Symphonies like Sickness was kind of like the first tech death record, kind of. Symphonies of Sickness on the other one, but and then that one's the first Melodeath record. Fucking nutcases, man. Like you know what I mean? Like there's a reason why we do kind of like hold our fucking elders in such high esteem, because we're just like there's just so much like some of the old bands really did just fucking kill it. Like they just fucking they came up with so many cool ideas.
Because they created the whole death metal thing, right? And then all of a sudden Chuck was like, this is fucking retarded, why am I doing this? So he decided to make like progressive technical death metal instead and completely change the genre. So yeah, Carcass kind of did the same thing where they made gore grind. And Jeff says, no, not Jeff, the other guy, the vocalist, the main vocalist, totally forgotten his fucking name.
Yeah, me too.
But he said,
I renew his name. I don't
yeah, I only know Jeff, but otherwise, yeah, he said that they were trying to make the most brutal music that they ever wanted to, but he said musically we failed. So then obviously he wanted to create something more melodic, so he created melodic death metal. So it's like the same thing with Chuck Schuldiner. He was enjoying it at first, but after said, no, it's really boring, it's so generic, everyone else is doing the same thing as me. So he went on and made a Human, and then after that, like fucking create Control Denied and shit, and which is fucking.
I mean, Symbolic is like legitimately one of my favorite metal records of all time. Like Symbolic is fucking Jesus, man. Right?
Yeah, that's got a lot of power metal influence to it. You know?
Yeah, I mean, but that's what I mean. Like, as somebody that, for me, like a big part of why I like metal is kind of the grandiosity and the kind of like the melodic influence. Like it's kind of like listening to classical music sometimes with it through like electric guitars. Like some of the shit on that record. Yeah, I love the epic vibe, man. I always have done, like, for sure. It's like, funnily enough, fuck, my brain just gone fucking blank. I need to fucking tell you about this band, Sean, in particular. And oh fuck, what are they fucking called? I'm a moron. Shit, why did I bring this up as a fucking tangent? I've completely blanked. Fucking too many beers.
Should bring it up.
Dude, so essentially this band are like a fucking super guttural, brutal, but at the same time it's like extremely progressive and kind of like wondrous musically, and it's like it's got a bit of a cult following. It was released in like the year 2000. I cannot remember what the fuck they're called. I'm gonna try and think. They've only released one record. And they are so fucking good. You've never heard anything like it in your life. It's fucking
Okay, Dripping?
Not Dripping. It's like there's a lot of very Middle Eastern kind of like influences in the melodies.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, I was like lightweight spacing out there for a second, but I know I you said like
Dripping is fucking crazy though, man. Like I rate Dripping highly.
Opera,
hey,
sick.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, dripping, wow, man. That I don't know. Sorry, I might have been way off base there. I was like kind of spaced out for a second, but
no, we can talk about Dripping because my brain has failed me. I've forgotten what I fucking brought up.
I know what you're talking about. It has like some Middle Eastern, like.
Dude, man, what the fuck is that record called? I can picture the fucking album cover. See, my memory is terrible. I can always picture fucking album covers.
Describe the album cover.
It's nothing but
describe the album cover.
The album cover is like it's
and
gold.
now that you've seen the album cover, right? Think of the fucking band's logo on there if they have it on the album cover.
You're just gonna make me look like an even bigger idiot.
Oh yeah, the album cover. It's got like a body in the bottom right, a logo in the top,
fucking, but yeah, no, dripping is fucking dope. We can definitely fucking talk about that for a minute, because yeah, that's
you just said year 2000, one record, it's hella wild, and dripping came to mind.
It's definitely it's definitely quite different in a lot of ways, but yeah, absolutely. He put me on to fucking Mortal Decay. I hadn't heard them before, and they're fucking crazy. In terms of like the vocals, Mortal Decay are fucking excellent. And they've got some really strange kind of like riff composition going on, and like the vocals are really unique too. Definitely.
It's the mix between the froggy shit of because John, the vocalist, he says he didn't really know how to do gutturals, and the only way he knew how to do it was to do the froggy shit, which like you'd said earlier, it's kind of like the most basic way to be able to get low is to just do this low fry. And it's the mix between that and the hardcore vocals, because obviously he's in a hardcore band called Shopcore. And that was his main band, so he tried to mix that in, and then the instruments are just fucking especially the guitarists, they wind around a lot. It's super fucking disorientating. Fucking crazy.
Sounds sick. Well, no, I mean, that sounds sick. I know.
You know how it sounds. You've listened to
it. Absolutely. You know how it sounds. Right, I've just found the fucking record I'm talking about. The band are called Lycathia Aflame, and the album's called Elvenfris. Elvenifris? I'm not sure. It's progressive, technical, brutal death metal, but
progressive.
Dude, genuinely, the album is fucking insane. I've not heard anything like it. It's like the atmosphere of it is fucking there's a real sort of a focus put on the atmosphere, but it's got the pingy snare. It's very guttural, but it's really kind of really I don't know the word to describe it, almost dreamlike atmosphere. It's got a big Middle Eastern kind of a vibe going through it. It's really triumphant and wondrous, but it's guttural as fuck. I love it when bands are able to put these. Yeah, no, dude, I'll say it again because literally I cannot.
No, just send it over the Instagram. Just send it over.
Yeah, no, dude, I'll put a fucking link for it in the description too, because man. Yeah, no, get on it. Yeah, it was all right. Yeah, no, the 31st of October 2000. Yeah, no, it's the only record they've ever put out, and I remember. I was a big fan of it when I was about 17, and then I got totally forgot about it, and then someone posted about it on a group I'm on Facebook. I was like, holy fuck, that album is crazy, and I was just I was like, holy fuck, I'm on a fucking podcast with a dude who's all about brutal death metal, and he might not be aware of this, and now I just get to fucking talk about it to an even possibly bigger, wider audience. Anyone who's listening, get on that record. It's fucking sick. Totally cool.
Dude, I'm definitely about to check it out, man. Well, I hate to jump off to call it short, but I got in front of the gym with my fiance here. But dude, thanks so much for having me on. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, man, it's been fucking dope, man. I love any opportunity to talk death metal with anybody, so this has been fucking excellent.
Yeah, man. Hopefully this will just be the first of some many guest appearances, dude. Straight up, you guys.
You boys are always welcome, man. You're always welcome. Yeah. So whenever we can do this again, we'll get down to brass tacks and get on it.
Hell yeah! Next time I'll make sure Seven's not so high so we can talk more.
Yeah, I saw him over there just looking up the sky what the. Dude, that shit all the time.
Hell yeah! All right, then guys, fucking have a good one. It was great talking.
Yeah, you too, bro. Take it easy.